Wolfpack Nation, what is up, y'all? Man, we got a crowd in here, y'all. I love it. We are excited for sure. And I'll make it first and foremost clear that I'll kind of get right to it. That as much as we would love to say that DJ Burns was given another year of eligibility, as much as we would love to say that Phillip Rivers is going to be the head coach or for next year, or whatever that may be, whoever you really want to be back, I feel you for sure. But guess what, y'all? For those who have followed Tuffy Talk for quite some time, for those who've had their finger on the pulse for just a little bit, would know there's been somebody in the Tuffy Talk family that has been missing for quite some time that we haven't really said too much about. But finally, a long way to return, and we are joined once again by our brother in arms, Macon Adams, baby.
Let's go!
Woo! Let's go!
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Let's go, y'all, dude. Everybody, please welcome our buddy Macon back. Light it red. Light it red. Let's go. Light it red. Oh, yeah. Man, so good. Yeah, no, y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in here for obviously big news for our piece here for sure. But, maybe, for some, might be more exciting for some than others. But guess what? Then for us, y'all, it's super exciting. It is worldly news. It is the biggest news out there, in our humble opinion, for sure. But again, we'll definitely talk about all things NC State, whether it's basketball, baseball, you name it, especially since this is going to be the first time having Macon back, because I'm sure he's had a lot of thoughts that he's been dying to get off his chest.
He's got a lot to say.
He's probably, let's be real, he's probably got a lot of
really grinds my gears.
So, it's a long way overdue. But with that being said, Macon, I guess we can only start off by handing you the floor by saying,
he's back.
He's back!
He's back, baby.
Oh, man. Well, that is our intro. I feel a very warm welcome back, guys. I'm glad to be back. I have been away with some family matters the last few months. But I've missed talking with you guys and everybody else in the chat about NC State stuff. And granted, I missed the end of the football season, shifting now into basically the beginning.
But did you really miss it though?
There were some things, but not really. No. I'm excited. I'm excited to get talking again. It was you guys were missed. I missed you guys. So
I will say I enjoyed chatting with you over the weekend about baseball. It was good to see you back, just have some text conversations with you. Yeah. And I've definitely missed that. So we're happy to have you back, man.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm glad to be back, man. It's football, basketball, women's, men's, whatever you want to talk about. I'm here.
Oh,
game.
I think he should like let him pick the topics tonight. Let him. Where does it?
Whoa. So I'm moderating tonight. I didn't even know it.
Where do you want to go?
Well, and again, make it. I mean, I'll say, man, dude, whatever it is you got in your head right now, man, just let it go, man, dude.
I will say first off, when I'm surprised it wasn't the Haas nominated, the Haas sponsored athletic director account. That was pretty shocking. It wasn't the Haas family, but
that would have been good.
I'm working on some stuff.
Yeah, I saw they just announced who that was. I was like, that's a huge donation to the program. And it's kind of odd. You would think selling naming rights is not that big a deal for something like that. But if people will buy it right now, sell it.
So here's something. I actually had a conversation with some folks, and I won't name them, but we're definitely not the first to do this. So everyone that was thinking that we're we're just doing something, and there's over 12 Power 4 12 Power 4 teams that have done this previously. So we're just kind of following the trend, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, even if it was a thing, we're just kind of making it up. Who cares? I get you. But if we're trying to make money and people are trying to find creative ways to make the money. So that was one thing. I mean, that's probably not the most important thing, obviously, but that was
that's significant.
Wow, $5 million for just to say my family's name with the athletic director. Pretty something that was kind of unique to me while I was away. Obviously, I won't touch on it too much, but because I know you guys probably did a whole bunch back then, but just with the football season ending the way it did and transitioning into this off season, I think personally, I think Doran Seed is hotter than ever right now. But I'll just kind of leave it at that. I think there's a lot of good, interesting hires at DJ Elliott, and he brought somebody else on. I can't remember who it was, but I know it's another like assistant with him. I saw that looks pretty good. Carolina. Yeah. But if we can't build off what we did this past season, and if we keep the same kind of record, I would be very interested to see how things are viewed inside the athletic department with Dave Doran. But I think there's reason to have some hope with some of the pieces that are there, and obviously with NIL, you can always rebuild your program year after year. So we'll see what happens. But it was very discouraging and that's all I'll say about that. So, basketball wise, where do you want to go, men's or women's?
I mean, do you want to do
baseball?
Yeah, baseball. Neither baseball. Well, the first thing I want to bring up, and you know what, I'll say it, because I know Greg and I messaged about it, and I'll bring it up. But for those who didn't know, Adam and Gold with his radio show 99.9 decided to put out a video highlighted by saying, "Is NC State going to make the ACC tournament?" ? And that immediately just sent me rocking, because I'm like, what kind of a title is that? Like, what why are we talking about this? Like who? Like, it just like, I get it, yes, because you say, well, and see, here we go with 83 curse again, where it's like, well, you did in 83, so you can do it again, right? So the question is,
24. You did 24.
Exactly. If NC State can make the ACC tournament, it can happen again, right? But and that's why I want to say, Macon. I mean, like last year taught us, I think, all State fans a little bit or a lot, at the very least a little bit. So, but would you say from the little or a lot that you learned last year, Macon, that if State squeezes into the ACC tournament, like
they have to win the ACC tournament to even get an NCAA tournament, but they're on the fringe of not even making the ACC tournament this year. Now they can. A lot of basketball left.
Sure. Not a lot.
Not yet.
There is some still. I mean,
there is.
2 to 3 weeks.
I mean, big opportunity here on Wednesday.
They have to win these games to even make it in. People were like, say, "Oh, don't count teams out. Don't count teams out." But my thing is, what happened last year? I think there were some really talented players, but I think statistically it was kind of like a fluke. And I don't expect that to happen 2 years in a row to the same program, but that could happen. I just don't expect that to happen at all. State just doesn't have it, man. I saw somewhere last week it was the longest losing streak since the ACC started for NC State basketball.
School history.
You're right. I was going to say, for NC State all time, longest losing streak. I thought it was since the ACC started, but you're saying forever.
What I read was school history, yeah.
So that's just, honestly, that's inexcusable. And honestly, I have people who are telling me in my life that I hope, and this is just a raw take on it, but they're saying, like, I honestly hope that some people like saying that hope it's as bad as it can be, so that way the program isn't forced to make a change. But then also that the contract buyouts, it's more expensive now because he did make it to the ACC tournament and he won it. He did make it to the NCAA tournament and made it to the Final Four. So those extra 2 years or whatever he got, it honestly, like, it kind of sucks. But it is what it is. And the hope I have is that with NIL, things can change very quickly. I just am worried that's not going to happen. So,
9 was tied for the longest.
Yeah.
And by the way, we still haven't won a road game in over a year, a true road game.
That's ridiculous to me. I mean, I know. I want to speak honestly, but come on, we have to win a road game. Like, it's So
yeah, I mean,
the guys are playing hard, and there's a lot of talent on the team, and they could put it together just like they did last year. They could do that. They very well could do that. The odds would say that's not going to happen. So,
well, and here's one thing, and Michael, I want to get your thoughts on it, but I think one of the biggest things that last year's team had was it had basically our most experienced and our leaders of the team played their best ball at the right time. Like DJ Burns and DJ Horn, who were two of the main pieces of the turnaround for last year, were seniors. They've played a lot of college basketball in their years, and at the end of the day, I think Keats finally figured out, right at the last second that DJ Burns needs to be a focal point of the offense. And then from there, DJ Burns just made the whole team. DJ Burns was, made definitely changed around the whole offense for sure. But, what's your thoughts, from last year compared to this year here, Michael?
Yeah, it's tough because I don't think you have two guys on this team that are really comparable to DJ Burns and DJ Horn, at least like offense.
You don't have one guy.
I was gonna say. I
Who
mean,
is
right
that
now,
guy? Who would be the closest guy? Go ahead,
Right.
you gotta say it. Who'd you say?
What? Well, I was gonna say, like right now, I would say the players I'm most excited about are freshmen. Like that.
Yeah.
Who is that guy right now? Who's the go-to guy right now? I mean, I can think of probably. I think I know the answer, but I'm curious what you say.
I would say over the last 5 games, Trey Parker's been the biggest shining star.
Yeah, but I still don't think he's.
I think it's Taylor.
When you say go-to guy, yeah.
It's either Marcus Hill or Donchess Styles.
Yeah, Taylor takes the moments too. I don't know. It's interesting to me. I actually, you're right. It's I think Styles has been when you cut him off, he State has really no go in that department. On my opinion.
Yeah, Taylor. I mean, Jaden Taylor had a good game against BC, but he's still hit or miss, and that's just kind of how it is with everybody up and down the roster.
My brother was texting me. Thought it was kind of crazy how the program put out. Tell you what I said, like, look at our stats. It was like turnovers, and it was
that was the only thing they could highlight. It was so bad.
Defensive points allowed per game. And then we were like, now let's do points scored.
Yeah, it was all defensive stats.
I mean, I know we're kind of hyping on that, but it's just not going well, guys. I mean, it's not a whole lot of positive talk about.
Did anyone see the STEM commercial they did for this upcoming weekend's game? And they had Styles and Hill in the commercial, and they were like breaking down like how to score. It was like, oh god, oh gosh,
forget how to score.
They were doing like analytic. Oh, it was. I mean, it's rough. I mean, I know the guys are trying. It's just, it was so bad. I was like, it was with Sass of all people. What's that?
We won this weekend.
I know, but it was against BC. Does it really?
One of the other worst teams in the conference.
But in all seriousness, you had to win that game if you had any sliver of a chance, because you're still what, 3 games out?
2.5
games,
out of 15.
Well, I think you're 3 because you lose the tiebreaker against Cal, and then you do play Syracuse coming up, and so that's a must win, because then you lose that tiebreaker.
Cuse is a must win. I think Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're a game and a half out of 15th, and Cal and Syracuse are tied for 15th. So we're a game and a half behind.
Syracuse lost to Carolina today.
Yeah.
They couldn't help us, and
No, we wanted them to lose. If you're trying to make the tournament, you wanted them to lose.
True.
Yeah. We weren't rooting for Carolina. We just weren't rooting for Syracuse to lose.
Yeah, I mean, you got to beat Syracuse.
Good point.
You got to beat Miami. You probably got to beat Georgia Tech.
You basically have to win them all, because you can't count on other teams losing.
True,
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's
not
the toughest stretch, but yeah.
But guess what? There's some road games in there. You're going to Cuse. You're going to Carolina.
Go to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
And then you host Pitt, you host Wake Forest.
And you've already lost to Wake Forest badly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Again, yeah. I mean, really making
there's a chance.
I'm really interested your thoughts really on this, because I think for Greg and I specifically, we've talked about this.
I beat that horse.
Yeah, we beat that horse to death.
Well, it's also. Oh, we frozen.
Nope, go ahead. All you.
Oh, it's also dumb that they made the Easter tournament this way. Like, it was, you could easily go to 18 teams. Like, I don't know why they just like didn't want to change it. they didn't want to make a change. So,
But it was weird they did
they
for
just did the
baseball.
last 3. Right there.
Oh my gosh. And we got okay. Anything else about basketball? Because honestly, like that's
No,
honestly
let's
something
move
that
on.
really grinds
Let's
my
move
gears.
on.
That's something that really grinds my gears, Greg, is oh man, like you went from like there being some level of luck, a good bit amount of luck in the ACC tournament. So now it's basically just pure like I mean, baseball is already so things have to go your way already. Now it's just like going to be pandemonium. Like
I like it.
really?
Yeah.
I
one
do
game, though?
because
One game, single
if
elimination?
you weren't the pod champion or the pod,
The
Right.
number
low
1
seed,
seed,
yeah.
you had basically no chance getting out of it. Like you
Sure.
needed the perfect thing to break your way.
But isn't that what you want?
No, because what if it's great in the years that you are the pod leader,
Yeah.
but the years
like
that you're
we have
not,
been.
but that's not every year that you're the pod leader.
So you're okay. You're okay if like an 8 seed Miami wins the ACC championship?
Look, it's just what it is. I mean, it's no different than basketball.
Yeah.
It's no different than basketball.
No,
That's why they
but
call you
again-
tournament champion, not
but-
conference champion.
But we're not talking about basketball. Like baseball already has so much. Let's be real. Just things have to go your
Be
way.
a top 4 seed, and that way you only have to play minimal games. Then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. If you're a top 4 seed, it's basically the same thing as advancing out of your pod. So if you're a top 4 seed, it's no different. Now you're just playing 2 less games, and so now you can bring your A boys later into the series. I like it. Go be a top 4. It plays out perfectly for you in your weekend.
Yeah.
I wonder
it's
how
better
the
for
team feels
pitching.
about it.
Yeah. If you're not a top 4 and you don't have pitching, you're screwed. So it's okay. It will work itself out.
And you don't have meaningless games, right? When it's
Correct.
pods, at some point you had meaningless games.
You had a meaningless game.
Yeah. Well, again,
Take that.
I mean,
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I totally get it. But you weren't going to get a true synopsis of the season as a whole, or a true snapshot, right? Because there are going to be fluky, funny things because it is baseball, right? You'll get a hot pitcher, or you'll get something. It's just what it is. But so that just means you have to show up every day at the ball yard ready to play.
Again, I honestly wish it would have gone the opposite direction, where there would have been more like a double elimination format, or like
let's complain about it like in the off season after we've already won it.
If that happens, but unfortunately for Avent, it just things have not gone his way in his entire career.
Well, maybe this is what he needs.
Maybe this is what he needed. Yeah,
maybe with more craziness. Now will be the time where that breaks through. Which I mean, I would love it. That would be great.
Well, to your point, I mean, like if we do end up a top 4 seed and you do have a crazy game where the 15 seed, gets a couple upsets, then you're facing a 15 seed in the semifinals, and like
on like a Thursday reliever, and they don't even play Thursdays. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's you get deep into a pin, and so that could play into your key. But we'll worry about that in May.
Yeah.
Yep. Good points for sure. Good points. Yeah. Okay. So baseball though. I mean, let's get into it, Greg. I mean, I'll let you introduce him, man. But I mean, I guess maybe the one question which I would ask you, Greg, immediately is, do you think this more answer questions, or do you feel like you leave this still, not like how much did you really learn from a scale of 1 to 10 from this weekend?
I would say a solid 7.
Learned a good bit. Okay.
Yeah, I learned a lot for me personally. So some of the things that I think are still some works in progress. The outfield is a good work in progress because there's so much talent from an offensive standpoint, and so you're just trying to figure out, okay, who's your combos out there. There was definitely some questions at third as Coach Avent ran out 3 different combinations out there throughout the weekend. I thought our guy Ryan Jaros was probably the best one from an all around perspective, from offensive and defensive. I thought Havner did a nice job in game 1, especially defensively. He's just got a really good glove. He'll hit for average, but I just think he's not quite as a polished tool. And then the freshman that they ran out there, we were talking about, and I'm trying to remember his name, and it begins with an N.
Oh,
No.
Novi?
Novi, yeah.
Novi, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he had some nice. He was okay at the plate defensively. He was a work, but again, he was a true freshman making his first start. There's some things there that you can kind of expect, but solid up the middle with Nixon and Decrecio. Yeah, solid there. First base, defensively, we got to get some work done there. Kind of dropped some balls, kind of misplayed some things there. But what he brings, and I'm talking about McHugh, offensively, he's just a beast. He was so good. But yeah, so I'll stop there, and then we can kind of talk through and ask some questions and kind of go through there. But there's just some initial thoughts. Pitching was great.
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Give me what you think, and then I'll rebuttal it.
I mean, Duden has a 54 ERA right now. I'm just saying.
Who?
Oh,
Duden. You said Duden.
Duden has a 54 ERA right now.
All right. You
so,
want to go there? All right. You want to go there? That's fine. We'll start there.
54.
First off,
54 ERA.
First off, the mound, the weather, everything was crap by the time he got in there. I honestly was surprised that they even played that inning. Before that, Avent went over to talk to the Fordham coach, and I was like, because I think at that point it was 19-2.
Yeah,
sound right.
I'm surprised they played that long, honestly. Yeah.
The games they cut off. That was weird. It was
at 7 they cut it at 7. So at 10 after 7 is where they cut it. Yeah, and that was the 7th. But you could see Avent going over to talk to the coach, and the coach kind of wanted to play it, and you could see Avent was like, geez. And so he got I think Wimbish went out there, and on his second or third warm-up throw, he slipped off the mound, and then the umpire came and watched him throw, and so there was some mound issues, and then the water with the rain. Look, I'm not making excuses, but just adding context.
Sure. Yeah. And Preacher Man even throwing in, it grinds my gears. The announcers on the network, they're bad. I mean, with ESPN Plus games, I feel like you can't really
some local kids there doing it.
So I think it was student media, NC State student media doing it. So it wasn't like an actual official crew. So
Okay. All right, but give me the next one I can rebuttal for you, Leighton.
No, I mean, just pulling up the stats. I saw Duden had a 54 ERA where I'm like, oh my God. But, obviously context is key for sure. He pitched 0.1 innings, gave up 2 runs and 2 hits. So, but yeah, no, I mean, so basically just to kind of looking at the stats here. So there were 6 guys that started every single game. McHugh, DeCrisio, Frosman, Luke Nixon, Alex Sosa, and Taid. And then Drew Lampier started in 2, Josh Hogue started in 2, and then Matt Heaver was started 1 as well. The biggest highlights were Luke Nixon, Braden, Justin, and Chris Hugh hit above 400 in these games, which again, Fordham, decent opponent, but not one. I think
I thought their starting pitching was good.
Fordham's picked to finish one of the bottom tier teams in their A10 conference, though. So that's the only thing I would say about them.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought their starting pitching was adequate. Once you started getting the bullpen, especially in day 2 and day 3, you could just see the level just drop off completely. I mean, they had one guy throwing fastballs at 78, and that's doing key work. That's coach pitch. And so you could see in some of those innings where, I want to say it was on the Saturday game. That's where we were really able to come in and do some damage. And they did a nice job early keeping us off balance. Again, they're not going to throw a lot of high velo, so they got to mix it up. And they did a nice job for the most part early in those games. But then after the 3rd or 4th inning in most of those games, we were just blowing it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in 21 innings of play, you gave up a combined 4 runs. Now, I mean, Fordham had a fiver in the top of the 7th in the final inning of the series, but I mean, it's pretty much through all that, you can pretty much say that, yeah, Greg, I definitely agree with you that the pitching staff was as good as expected.
Mhm.
And again, you didn't even really see your best guys even in this series. And I think hitting wise is going to be a question of, do you stick with those 6 going forward, and then you try and figure out those last 3 spots? That's going to be kind of my biggest question, because I definitely think you want to kind of get to a point where you start to set those lineups a little bit, get some guys, a lot of pitches, try and really get some momentum there. Because again, you don't need much, but just a little bit, and then we're going to be successful this season. So, Macon, were you able to watch any of the games?
Not those games, no. But I will say I did kind of check in. I'm just trying to familiarize myself, because I'm not in depth with the baseball team like Greg is at this point. But I'm like trying to see who are the new guys, what's the rotation like. Chris, it is McHugh, not McCuff.
McHugh. The way I remember it is he's the transfer from VCU, so they kind of rhyme. So that's how I go McHugh and VCU.
Yeah, well, I mean, at VCU, like he had like a solid, freshman year, but nothing like blow you away. And I know he's one of the highlights this weekend. So like to me, that was a really good scouting, I guess, for the program to kind of find a guy like that and bring him in. And if he can kind of play where he is a feature piece for you on offense, and he plays first, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
Or was so that was, to me, seems like a really nice addition for this team. So
yeah, that's definitely a Chris Hart.
Oh yeah, it's a Chris Hart special. Yeah. We haven't even talked about Alex Sosa at all. I mean, he hit 2 bombs,
2 home runs, 1 opposite field,
1 oppo. Yeah. He got a little harassment from the stands about it, especially the dad section, because he just barely got it over, and that's okay. It still counts. It's a home run, baby. It's a home run.
I think that's going to be the
thing.
Well, I think that's the biggest question for me, honestly. I think for a lot of people, for this team, really is who's going to be our power hitters. Who's going to be our bomb hitters. And I mean, definitely Sosa definitely stands out for sure. I mean, and he proved that with 2 home runs this weekend.
Yeah.
But McHugh hit 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's Frostman can hit. He's got to work on his defense a little bit, but the guy can hit. We got a couple of guys that aren't even playing right now that potentially could be out in the outfield. They're coming back for some little injuries, so we'll see how that plays back into things, because then that just makes it more muddy out in the outfield for playing time. I mean, you got Ty, who's got tool sets, but he's a freshman, so you don't know how that's going to shake. But he did have a good weekend, a good starting weekend, and was on the bases a lot. But yeah, the big key is the power. But again, I always, we were joking with this about the pitcher's parents. If you're a pitcher, you want to give up a solo shot, right? And it doesn't matter how you score the run, whether it's three hits, a walk, an error, or 1 home run. Now, do you have to do more work to get the other ones? Sure, you have to do the work, but I think our lineup is really, really well at taking pitches and putting the ball in play and just finding ways. Like Luke Nixon found his way on base multiple times. And so if you can get some guys that can hit around 300 consistently, they'll be able to push guys across. And so I'm not so much worried about that. And yeah, you'll get a home run every now and then, which it's a nice pick me up, but I'm not worried about the power as much. I just find ways to get on base and then get them across.
And I think the hope is you don't have to score as many runs with the pitching and defense.
Right. Yeah, I think if you can consistently get 5 runs across the board, you're gonna win probably 60 to 70% of your games easily.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask as well, because I think one of the big keys for me too with this season is, can we steal more bases? Not necessarily a ton. We don't need to be top of the nation, but just I would like to add that to our repertoire this season, because that's not really something we had last year. And Luke Nixon had 2 steal attempts. Josh Hogue had 1, and all 3 of them were safe. Yeah. So, I mean,
did Ty not? I thought Todd had 1.
Not per the
maybe
stats.
he was just sliding into second on a play. Then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely speed on this roster. You got Decrecio, who's got some decent speed. Head's got some speed. Lions, when he gets back, Jet Gilliam, is that his name? I want to say it's Jet Gilliam, but I might not have the last name right. He's got some speed. So yeah, to answer the question, I think there's going to be some opportunities there. I think you're going to maybe see, some bunting to get guys across, especially later in the games. You got guys that can do that really well with Havner. Nixon can bunt and Decrecio can bunt. So if the situation calls for it, I think you've got some opportunities there as well if you need to manufacture something.
Yeah. And then Preacher Man asks, will Shane Van Dam be back this year?
Should be. I would probably say late April to mid-May, which would put you right around postseason. And then they have to make the determination if they want to push them through. But I think because the timing would align to about then, if he's on track.
Okay. Which, I mean, if you were a betting man, would you say more likely, not so likely?
I don't know.
If I would mention not, because he would be wanting to rest him up, but that would be maybe.
But he is draft. I mean, he would probably like to get some innings in just for the draft because he is, just to show people that he's healthy. So he may, get a little spot here or there.
Good point.
But again, I that's just speculation.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously depends on injuries wise. If we suffer any more, knock on wood over here, from the bullpen. But I mean, if we're healthy, I mean, there's a very good likelihood that we have 7-8 guys, that are doing pretty darn well by that point. So
yeah, I mean,
it'll be interesting.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just want to talk about the pitching a little bit. Again, I was talking to Heath Andrews' dad, and he goes, "Remember, it's just the first outing." But in all seriousness, I thought all of our starting pitching did really well. Dom, only thing I would say was, you would like to have seen Dom throw a little bit more. He threw 83 pitches in a 4 1/3. You'd probably like to get him over to, at least 5. So this first outing, these guys were stretched for about 75 to 85 pitches. So that was right where they had him plugged in for. So that's why you're going to see some of the numbers. But, he gave up 3 hits, 1 run, but it wasn't unearned. He got himself out of a jam, a bases loaded jam early. I thought he did well. 5 strikeouts. So, he's right there. But, just would like a little bit more from him, to be able to get, a little bit further in. But you had Andrew Schaffner come in and just pick up right where he left off late postseason. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Gave up 3 hits and 3 2/3. But again, just a guy that can come out and get you some outs. And then game 2, you had Heath Andrews was effectively wild. He hit I think 3 or 4 guys, and I think he walked 3 guys. And then he threw 3 or 4 wild pitches. Now some of them, you had Lamphere back there. I don't know if there's a difference if Sosa's back there. If he makes some of those pitches not become wild pitches. And then of course too, you have it's college scoring, and they don't always give you the best. They'll give you a wild pitch instead of a pass ball a lot of times, just because it's college. They don't necessarily always expect the catcher to make the stop. But he had a really good outing, and then Coop came right behind him and just did Coop things. I think he had 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. He looked good. He looked really good, really, really good. And then Marone came in on Saturday. I wanted to say Sunday because it was game 3, but Saturday, and he shut it down. I mean, he looked like every bit of last year. I thought he did really good. 81 pitches in 5 innings, so he got through the 5. 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. I mean, he was just really mowing them down. And then you had a bunch of guys. And then I'll let you talk about this one because it leads into tomorrow. But Matt Willitson, I'd like to go ahead and segue to him. So I'll let you set the table there, Leighton.
Yeah, Matt Wilson. I mean, even Carson Kelly, two seniors who Carson Kelly pitched a third of an inning. Matt Wilson only pitched 1 inning. So, I mean, those are guys that are going to be pretty big focal points of this bullpen going forward. Yeah. But yeah, no, so definitely for this week, he got a big week coming up here where
I thought you were going to go a different way with Wilson. Sorry. So Willitson comes in. It's okay. Willitson comes in. His first pitch, he gives up a home run. I mean, he's just the guy turns on it.
That's right.
And then he goes and strikes out the side, which was just so Matt Willitson just, okay, you got me, kind of pick up the rosin, put back down, and then, mows him down. And then the other thing, I was
3
gonna go-
strikeouts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
so it was so good to see him back after everything he went through last year. I was
Absolutely.
talking to his dad afterward. He goes, "Yeah, that's no other way I'd wanted to see it with Matt." And but just Matt being just resilient, just battling through everything that he's battled through at state. And I think he's going to be, if you had to kind of make a comparison, he's going to be our Sam Heifel this year. I think, just everything that he's battled. And I think when it's all said and done, Matt's going to play a big part in this season in the pitching staff. And then with that said, he's going to, it was announced early this afternoon that the expectation is that he'll get to start tomorrow against Liberty.
Yeah. And I think that's a great time for him to come back too against, a solid Liberty team for sure. Definitely, not a team you can necessarily look past. But I think, with a guy that was a weekend starter for us, I
like our starter better than their starter.
Oh, totally. Boy, yeah, especially because this is a this was a Friday, Saturday weekend starter for us that now Liberty's going to get to see on a Tuesday game. Like that's a pretty good thing if you have a guy like a Matt Willison starting for you on a Tuesday. That's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see an inning from Duden just to kind of maybe get him back out there.
Give another opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe see D-Rock for the first time.
So he was not available this past weekend, and I don't know what his status will be. From what I understand, he will be available this weekend, but I don't know if that were to mean Tuesday as well. So they may be holding him for Tuesday, but they may want to get him out there just to, get an inning in.
Yep.
I don't know, but it could be dangerous if you start rolling those guys out on a Tuesday.
Totally. Now I do want to talk about this weekend with the Jacks College Baseball Classic, and Greg, are you going to be there?
I will be there. The weather is clearing up. Yeah. Mike will be there on Tuesday and Sunday. And
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Greg's just trying to be a fan. That's all it is. Just
trying to catch up to you, brother.
I know. It's hard. It's hard.
I know. And even Preacher Man actually called out earlier, but Greg rocking the new red and white. Red and white hat.
I like this one. This is a nice one.
It is a good one. It's funny. They actually made one very similar to that when it had the Block S, and I actually have that one.
Yeah. The only difference is if you look at the little eyelets on yours, they're all red, and then they just match the color of the pane that it's on. So those are the two differences. Yeah. And then they got the new camo hat this year with the wolf head on it because the Block S is on. But I got them all. We're ready.
So for this weekend, you got Ohio State Friday 2 p.m., Alabama on Saturday 4 p.m., and then Coastal Carolina on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. All these 3 games will be on d1baseball.com. A subscription is required.
$30.
$30. So, and it's up to you for sure. But hey, listen, for me, I would say it's totally worth it for sure. It's state baseball this year. Yeah, baseball fan, let's go. Yeah. What is it?
$10 a game.
Yeah,
$10 a game. That's right. But also, go ahead.
No, I was just say the production value is pretty decent from what I understand too. It's not like it'll be me like sitting in Hawaii with a cell phone and. They actually have some decent announcements.
You did what you could, Greg.
I did what I could. I was just trying to be a fan. Yeah,
that's right. Well, and but also too, y'all. I'm going to give a quick shout out here, real quick, to 2 other big things. Is that NC State Wrestling is going to be taking on Virginia Tech this weekend in Blacksburg. Winner gets the regular season. Well, not gets, but is
might as well.
What is the favorite to win the ACC title and is basically going to probably win it. But if we win it, then it's over. But if Virginia Tech wins it, then there's 3 teams with 1 loss. Virginia Tech would have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the other 2. So basically, unless they absolutely blow it, they're probably going to win the regular season title. But that's okay, because guess what? In the last 6 years, Pop Popolicio's won 4 of them, and only 2 that he's lost was in Blacksburg. But he's won 6 or 7 ACC postseason titles in a row. So
6,
feeling pretty good. Yeah, 6. So that's big. And then NC State's going to be hosting gymnastics as well against Carolina this weekend, and feeling really excited about them, as right now they're ranked number 19 right now in the country. Just came off a huge road win at Clemson, which I mean, Clemson right now is feeling themselves with gymnastics right now, selling the place out, which, you know, that's okay. But guess what? Last year we had you guys, we beat y'all both times, and then we won both we won both the regular season and the postseason ACC title. So, you know, that's cool. But yeah, so excited about that. And then obviously men's basketball here on Wednesday. But anything else about baseball before we jump on to women's basketball here, fellas?
I mean, I could sit here and talk another 20 minutes, so you better shut me down now. I will say real quick before we just a real quick preview of Jacksonville. Ohio State lost all of their games this week, so they're going to roll in 0-3. Coastal is going to go in 4-0. They played their midweek today, ironically. So they're 4-0, so they'll be fully rested. Yeah. And then Alabama will roll in 3-0, at least, depending on if they have midweeks or not. But currently, that's where they stand. So I think our toughest game is going to be probably Coastal. And then it's pretty close, but it's either Alabama or Coastal. And then I expect Ohio State to be fairly mundane.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before. The Ohio State has the Campbell head coach. Mm-hmm. He's now at Ohio State. So he's rebuilding that program.
It's a good hire for them. I'll give them props. So it's a good hire for them. All right. So with that being said, you know, let's talk about it. I'm not sitting here, really upset necessarily. I'm bugged for sure. It's definitely an opportunity, missed for sure. Really giving yourself a very good chance at a top 16 seed for NCAA tournament, and really solidifying a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament, which both still are in play for sure. But definitely you could have really, made a statement. Yesterday, 65-66 lost at Carolina yesterday. We were up by 7 with, I believe, like 2 minutes left, and went basically scoreless at that point. And UNC came back to win off of a foul, which we'll talk about here for sure. But Macon, I didn't watch, and I'll ask you, Macon, first, and if Macon you don't know, then Greg, Michael, maybe you could tell me. But I wasn't able to watch the first half as we had my brother-in-law and his wife with us this weekend with their 1-year-old, so I was caught up with them in the first half. But can somebody explain to me why Isaiah James only had 2 shot attempts in the first half?
I don't know, because they were denying her the ball. Honestly, that was what I watched, was some of the first half. I didn't get to watch the second half.
Okay.
I thought they're denying the ball, which was, that's there was a lot of good ball rotation, but it felt like State was intentionally trying to get the ball to their post players, and Zoe Brooks driving a lot. And I saw some shots where Sanaya was just, they were just putting up some, threes, jacking some shots there, but I don't know. I was looking for Isaiah too in that game. I was like, why are they not going to her more? It did feel like they were trying to deny her the ball, so maybe but that should be, you should be able to figure that out. So
and she got 2 fouls, I think, the first half, and probably sat more than really she should have, apparently.
That's what. Yeah, I wasn't able to watch, but that was the things that I was reading most, was like, why was she sitting for as long as she was? That seemed to be
because I don't think
sentiment.
She ended the game with, I think, only 3 fouls, maybe. May have only been 2, like Shamiu. But that game was it was
a weird one.
He struggled in Chapel Hill recently.
Sanaya Rivers struggled at Carolina last year, and she went over 5 from 3 for the game.
She's probably one of the most frustrating players I've seen lately to me in general, because she could be so much better than she actually is, and it bothers me.
I mean, let's talk about me in the latest WNBA mock. I saw Isaiah James, I think 6 overall pick, and then Sanaya number 9 or 10 overall.
Wait, we're talking Isaiah or Sanaya?
Isaiah. We were talking. I was saying Sanaya was frustrating. Yeah, it was Sanaya.
Sanaya's frustrating me. Isaiah is like hit or miss, what it feels like sometimes her. So
she gets in the groove. Watch out, but then if not, so she'll sometimes take too many shots to try to get back in the groove, and then it becomes more of a detriment to the team.
Volume.
But But I mean, like, so right now, I mean, with both those players, Uzziah and Sanaya, I mean, both right now projected top 10 picks in the WNBA draft.
Doesn't mean
And,
anything.
That's just crazy to me because I mean Isaiah's
Yeah.
earned it more than Sanaya in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like, if
again,
Sanaya is
really
the top
good
10
on
pick
defense.
and she's playing like this, then
I just
Like,
think Sanaya's defense is way better than her offense, which is crazy
Agreed.
to say. But
right now it is. Yeah.
She. I think
She's just
sometimes
something's not there with her. I don't know what it is, but
I think sometimes she's too much of a team player, which is wild to say. But sometimes she takes care of her teammates more than she takes care of herself, and then she doesn't always get in the flow offensively with shot rhythm and those type of things.
like I saw some shots where she was taking shots late in the shot clock because somebody had to. I'm like, okay, that's not her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
why are you settling for the 3 or why are you settling for the D? Go and drive in. You're better than these.
That's where she's best. That's where she's best. Going to the basket.
1000%.
I know, but she wasn't. I'm saying she wasn't. Like,
Right. No, I
go to
agree.
the basket. Yeah. So
Yeah, she's gotten better at 3-point shooting, but that's still not like great.
and
I tell you who's just become, and again, I didn't get to watch yesterday because I was just doing so much trying to get home, but Madison Hayes over the last month and a half has just been a difference maker.
She's so good, yeah.
I mean, yeah, on both ends of the court, double doubles. That Miami game on Thursday, she was just hitting shots after shots, just big shots. Like Miami would make a run, get it down to 1 or take a lead, and then you just see Madison come right back and do something positive for the team. She's just honestly how I would rank this team at the moment as your top, whatever. It's Isaiah, and then I would put Madison, and then I would put Sanaya. But Sanaya does so many good things on the defensive end. But I just want a little bit more from her offensively.
she's just scratching the surface of what she really could be, and I just don't know what it's going to take to get her there. To me, I don't know what it is. Maybe, honestly, Greg, you might have a good point. Maybe she is, or I think it's Greg said, maybe she's being too unselfish.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Too unselfish, and it's like just go.
Yeah. Sometimes call your number because to your point, both you and Leighton said it. When she gets to the basket, north south, she's unstoppable. I mean, like if you let her get the corner, done. I mean, she's gonna finish every time. And I think sometimes she just needs to just be, because I think that's where we're really good too as a team as a whole is in transition. Like if we can get out on the break, if you get out on the break and she's out there on either of the sides, just let her go. I mean, just let her go get at it. Get it.
Well, I mean, again, in that starting lineup, all 5 players can shoot the 3. All 5 players move with somewhat speed, and I mean, and all of them can get to the basket as well. So yeah, no, 100%. And again, I feel like Tilda, wasn't necessarily her best game for sure, but the day she gave you what you expect: 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 for 9 from the field. So, that's pretty much. If that's what if that's your floor with her every single game, you're gonna be pretty happy, for the rest of the season here for sure.
Free throw shooting,
right? And that's what I was about to say.
That was the difference in the game at the end of the day.
You shoot average, not even good. You shoot your average, and you win the game easily.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at it here too. Like State, that there was a 1-point game, and honestly, if you look at the breakdown statistically, State was better than Carolina in most categories, or if not even. And it was really just they shot the 3. They shot the 3 better than we did.
I mean, you're up 5 points with 1:30 left. You have to close that game out.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
There's just
and
not a lot of
throws.
You just can't make excuses. Yeah.
5 of 13. Carolina was 10 for 16.
Finished.
So they made 5 more free throws than we did. They hit 4 more threes than we did. So
we were going too fast in the last minute and a half. Like we ate no clock. Like the I think it was the one after they cut it to 3. We basically ran up. I think we ran maybe 10, 12 seconds off the clock. And then I was like, what are we doing? Like we have a lead, make them fight through it and shorten the game a little bit. And we just didn't do a good job. Plus, we didn't shoot well from 3 yesterday either. That was one of our lower percentages. That's the problem with this team. If you catch them on an off shooting, and I know this is pretty basic thing to say, but if they're not shooting the ball effectively, then you need to find easy baskets, and I don't think
that's why to me Sanaya and those people, if you can drive and get close to the basket, those are higher percentage shots.
Yeah,
and so that's just I don't understand that part of it.
Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. And look, there was troubling signs in that Miami game. I mean, like you kind of saw some stuff, and look, Miami just shot the dang lights out. They hit I think they hit 11 or 12 3-pointers. It was I think they shot 43% from 3-point land in that game. It was just insane. But credit, we made a couple of plays at the end to just make enough happen.
And I mean, too, obviously not necessarily thrilled, with the coaching at the end, with just like you said, not really running off much clock, but also too as well that when UNC ran the out of bounds play and we forced them to call a timeout because we were pressuring them so hard, that worked. But then once you see, in my opinion, once you see all 4 players like basically back to make sure that the ball gets in, then at that point, okay, really the press doesn't really do much, because at the end of the day, like, you just got to be ready to accept what's coming at you down court. And unfortunately Zoe Brooks having to stay with that UNC player kind of put her in that position to get called for that foul.
Honestly, what I would have done, because we had fouls to give, is okay, if you want to pressure, that's fine. Hack him at half court, because you didn't want to foul them in the back court, because then they could have called a timeout to advance it, and that was the whole thing, what he was trying to do. But let him run some clock, and then to your point, then they wouldn't have gotten an
opportunity for a ref to get their head in the game.
Right. Well, then you would have made him run something more more traditional, and I think maybe things turn out. I don't know. It's always easy hindsight looking back at it, and though you can we're literally Monday morning or Monday evening quarterbacking this thing.
Yeah.
It's a real stinker, because now we still have to play Notre Dame. All right, and now we have 2 losses. Now we're looking at potentially because I think they just destroyed Duke tonight. The last time
they're number 2. They were 2 in the country, and they went
to number 1
heavily.
They're number 1 now. They went to number 1 today.
Oh, I just saw maybe my sports app had not updated it yet. So
yeah. So the problem now runs. Now you have 2 losses. Carolina has 3. If you don't beat Notre Dame, now you have 3 losses. They have the tiebreaker, so now that drops you to a 3 seed. Louisville, you have the tiebreaker. Duke, you have the tiebreaker. So you're still pretty safe to be a top 4, but you don't want to slide.
Well,
you don't want to slide.
They have released the top 16 teams.
They did, yeah.
The committee did, and we were on the 2 line. I mean, we were the 8 overall seed, so we were right on the edge, but still a 2 seed, which I don't know, that's higher than I thought.
Yeah, so, I was surprised by that too.
You're still in a good position. Yeah, like
nationally, that is.
Nationally, yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, and that's why leaving this game, some frustration with some frustration with a lot of different places. I mean, the one last coaching thing that I texted you about, Greg, was the last play call where literally UNC was like, "Oh, Isaiah's by herself. Let's just
triple team her." They triple teamed her.
So with the Madison Hayes with Snai, why didn't you put him in a position to be options? But again, hindsight 2020 kind of thing.
There was no secondary option on that play. You could literally tell it was Isaiah.
Right.
Isaiah, get to the rim, get a shot,
Save
get
us.
something. It's your moment.
Right. But UNC snuffed it out really
they did.
easily.
They knew. I mean, because hell, when the announcers are going,
what'd you do?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, really from this, I'm not really yes, some concerns for sure, frustrating a little bit, missed opportunity, but this one you really just gotta just crumble it up and you gotta grow from this. Finish the game, especially with 3 seniors in your starting lineup as well. Finish the game. What to do. You've done this
time at Chapel Hill,
right? Yeah, you've done this 100 times over. Come on, it's time. But guess what? More than likely, unless you see UNC in the first round of the ACC tournament, you're not going to see them at any other point, because it's Ping Hart's MO to lose in the first round of the ACC tournament. So
Let's be went out, right? And I think they said it could be ACL for her or something bad.
Who was that?
Let's be for UNC.
Oh, really?
That sucks. Yeah. That sucks for him. Yeah.
All that. Some type of knee injury.
Yeah, well, thoughts for her for sure. Definitely, rivalry side. Nobody wants to see that. So, but anyway, make any final thoughts here about women's basketball? Looking at the rest of their who do they have next? Georgia Tech on Thursday.
Notre Dame. They got SMU down the road. They got SMU coming up, and they've got Wake Forest.
That's the easiest one left.
so-
SMU is pretty low level. Wake
Yes,
is
they are.
definitely the lowest.
Yeah, I think they're like 17 and
pretty
18
close.
in the league. So
I mean,
Which-
so really for me, it's literally these
next
next
two,
6
yeah.
days. It's these next 6 days.
Yep.
Georgia Tech, Notre Dame.
Yep. Women's
Yeah,
college
how-
game day will be there on Sunday.
You get this win against Notre Dame. How far do you go up? Have you get a loss? How far do you go down? You think?
Well,
Depends.
I don't think it hurts you on the loss side.
I agree.
Yeah.
It only
unless
helps you, in my
it's just
opinion.
like one of those 40-point drubbings, which
right.
I don't see that happening. But Notre
What?
Dame's just playing at a different level right now.
Well, and that's why like this loss at UNC is by 1 point,
Yeah.
technically on the road at UNC.
Yeah,
We only dropped 3 spots, so
Right.
Yeah.
New
Speaking
rink,
of on the road at UNC, men plays there 2 nights from now.
who cares?
I know it's so sad, but it's like
Say,
for like honestly
No.
for like even for UNC would agree it's kind of the low key toilet bowl, even though like one piece of crap's more solid than the other one.
Hey,
But they're both
I'll take beating them.
so-
I'll take beating them. If we were 1-15 or whatever it is in conference and West
true.
Carolina, I'd be happy with it. So
But here's the spin. Oh, this is our worst team in 20 years, so who cares?
yeah.
You know,
I'll be
that's
longer
the
than
Carolina
that.
I
spin
mean, I
for
really
you.
don't
I
care.
know. I'm just.
I really don't care. I just want to
No.
beat them.
I know.
So-
Me too. I mean, there's a reason my license
No.
plate has H8 UNC on it. Like
Yeah,
anytime we can beat them, I don't care if it's in whatever that Quidditch or whatever. I don't even know if that's a club sport, but I
We do have a club Quidditch team. We
Yeah,
do.
see, I'd beat the hell out of UNC in club Quidditch.
Yeah. Michelle, we can make him back, man. What you mean, Michelle?
Well,
You
she's
of
just
all
getting back
people,
on.
Michelle
She's
should
just getting
know.
back. She's just getting
Michelle.
back.
There
Michelle.
we go. See, there we go.
The woman's got to
Michelle
get some
knows.
groceries for her family, man. Y'all are about ready to get Snowmageddon.
I know. Seriously. We'll
Yeah.
see.
By the way,
bread
the
and
whole
milk. Gotta
thing
get
was
that bread
like
and milk.
I think it was like high point as high as 7 inches last week, and now it's like it went down to like 1. Now it's like 2. I told my dad, I was like, so basically that tells me it's going to snow anywhere between 0 and 10 inches. That's all
Yeah,
I know.
pretty much.
So,
Yeah, we were that way the other day. We were between 5 and 9, and like now we're down to 3
It
to
says
6.
a little over 2 inches now. So okay.
Yeah.
Carrie's going to get 4 inches apparently. I was like, come on, Raleigh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that shuts you down for a week.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah. Exactly. But it's going to freeze. So anyways, we'll get into it. But yeah.
That's nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, definitely a really exciting time for sure. Definitely, even though men's basketball, if they were somewhat good, that would add to it for sure. I mean, the fact that you got, a few different teams with, again, with gymnastics looking really good right now, wrestling looking really solid, definitely excited about their future. Softball's getting going, and, they're,
How bad of luck did they have this weekend, losing all
I
3
know.
games, and they didn't give up an earn run the whole time? That was
I
just
know.
That's tough.
that's tough.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm going to die on the hill and say, listen, I have no doubt whatsoever in Lindsay Leftwich. I really
Yeah,
don't.
no doubt.
I'm so sold in her like that,
Yeah.
But no, I agree. That definitely is the worst of luck. Definitely hate that. So, but hey, they're coming up my way, playing Elon at Elon tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So might have to go check them out. But yeah. So, and then Michelle saying they predicted 1 to 2 inches of snow and ice here in Dunn. Yep. No. So first of all, I mean, to everybody that's going to be affected by this, definitely be safe for sure. And but whatever does come, whether it's nothing or 8 inches, we have no idea. So yeah. So I do want to ask that question. So I mean, Greg, let's be real. If we win at UNC, how much does that move the needle for you? Really, in terms of looking at
Makes
the
me
season as a whole?
happier.
Yeah, it gives me 24 hours of warm fuzziness.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll run right through me pretty quickly. I'm just so numb to this season. Again, I will sit and watch it, because I have nothing better to do with my life, even though I'm married and my wife will tell me other things. But it's just what was I looking for?
I know.
Did I say something? Like what? I
No,
don't know.
it's funny. It's funny. My
Yeah,
wife
just
said other
being
things like,
funny.
you have anything better to do with my life, like spend time with me?
Yeah, I mean, see, that's what she'll be. But I'm like, no, we're playing Carolina. You know how this thing works.
Yeah, I know.
See.
Yeah.
You got the T-shirt that says "Married into."
I'm
This.
married
Do you
into this,
see anything
yeah.
different? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, again, I'll be happy for, like I said, 24, 36 hours, and we move on to the next.
Do you
Yep,
think Keats
and-
keeps his job after the season?
Come on, yes, moving
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
I know. I just want to know how bad does it have to be for it not to happen?
There has to be a scandal.
Yeah.
Well, for this season,
Greg,
but-
you know
but again,
people,
yeah.
make it happen.
for this season.
I think this
Now,
season,
again-
yeah. This
Hey,
season
but-
puts him back on the hot seat next season, right? Like if he
It-
could have
I think
been okay, right? If he could have, I don't know, even if it was made the tournament as a bubble team going into next
No,
year,
not
like
it's not
nobody
gonna
would be.
Nope.
No, but I'm saying like that.
No, I
wouldn't,
agree.
Yeah, put him back on the hot seat. But now it's like, okay, next year you got to win again, or
Yeah.
you're going.
Well, so you're saying if he's on the bubble next year and makes it in, that's good enough or not good enough?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
He makes
Yeah,
it in.
I mean,
Get in the tournament.
well,
Gotta get in the tournament.
Here's the stupid way his contract is probably written. If he makes the tournament, he probably gets a stupid year, which
Probably
is
get a
the
year.
dumbest thing
Yeah.
anyway. Which we need to really look at how we're writing these contracts now, especially in the NIL age of sports.
Honestly, we need people
Because
who
there's
give
such a-
five.
Go ahead.
No, I cut you off. You finish.
No, I was going to say, in the world of this NIL, sports landscape that we have, the contracts need to be shorter, more incentive laden. Like I just think there's this because there's just so much turnover. I mean, you're turning over baseball the last 2 years. We've turned over 50% of our roster each year. Basketball, you're at least 30, 40 to 60%. Like there's a lot of turnover. So there's just not that continuity that you've had in years past.
True. Yeah, it's kind of striking gold. It's literally a year by year thing. Or hitting the dirt. Which I mean, yeah, I mean like Ben Middlebrooks. I just want to just slam my head on this table, being like, "What happened to you, my man? What the heck is going on? Like, come on, bro." But so yes, no, it does make me laugh though. Like on the 99.9 they'll do call in, and they had a call in session for NC State fans, and like hearing the fans be like, like I just had it, it's time for Keats to go, and I'm like, all right, hold on, I get it, I'm frustrated too, but this guy just won you an ACC title and the Final Four. Like,
there's no way any rational fan can say that they would take away last year for this year.
right.
There's just none. Like I don't.
I'm more than happy to sacrifice this year for last year. I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to sacrifice it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Just
Like-
be
like-
appreciative, Julius Hodge. Just be appreciative.
Yeah.
He was spot on.
Be happy.
Hey,
Because here's the
mean,
other thing: if you start trying to run someone out a year after, like what coach wants to come
We
here?
would be like,
Right.
people would be like, who does NC State think they are, kind of thing, is what we'll be saying.
Mhm.
it would basically be like all the it'd be like who was it, Calipari with his interview after Mark Godfrey got fired, where it's like man, Mark Godfrey took NC State to 3 NCAA tournaments in 5 years, and they fired him, and I'm like,
Well, never mind. I won't say
But-
anything more.
no, again, exactly. I'm definitely would go back to Calipari and be like, so you still
you
stay
see
on
why?
that hill, or but
Do you see why?
yeah, I know exactly. I think we made the right call, but yeah, no, definitely, if we fired Keats, it would be, that's not the way to do it. So,
Mm-mm.
but again, definitely next year, get to the tournament, my man. Get to the tournament, please. Like, don't make me do it. It literally be like a don't make me do it approach.
I just think it's crazy that one
Yeah.
amazing, incredible month of March
Mm-hmm.
has just changed everything. That's what's crazy to me. People don't care about the regular season. All they care about is postseason.
Like honestly, like this
Well,
time
they
period,
remember. They remember.
where we are right now really makes me value even more like that 5-week stretch, like how
It was
insane that was.
It was miraculous. It was miraculous. It was miraculous.
I've
like,
talked
just-
about it.
It would be honestly.
Crazy.
It's the closest thing we'll ever come to 83. Like it is the closest thing. It'll
Right,
be
unless
like,
we don't want
By
right.
far.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
by far.
and unless we won the whole thing. But I'm saying but I mean, The whole idea of you had to win the ACC tournament to even get
Yeah.
in, and then you made it like that, and it's the closest thing. So,
And because I'll say once again, because we had NC State historian, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I know Tim Peeler, and he came on here and said that the fact that we had to win the ACC tournament in '83 is a flat out lie. We did not have to win it. Once we beat UNC in the semis and made it to the finals, we were in. But this one, we had to win it. Like there's no
last year we had to win it. Yeah.
We had to win it all.
It was a dream come true. That was so fun. That was so fun.
Yeah.
So you kind of figure out like how much is the fact that we actually had to win the tournament versus the fact that NC State actually won the national title in '83. Like when you kind of compare like which one was greater kind of deal.
Right.
But so but anyway, again, but just like Michelle was saying right here, it was amazing. Like, and so at the end of the day, y'all,
bad year this year, last season ended pretty awesome.
Worth it.
Yep.
It was worth it.
Yep.
I don't care. It was worth it. So yes. Yep. And honestly, the fact that UNC is having their worst season in well over 20,
and Hubert may get fired.
Years.
No, he won't get fired.
You don't think so?
They did the whole GM thing. He's not gonna get fired.
True. Yeah.
And the top 10.
And honestly, they say their worst season. And I saw somewhere, I think they're still 6 in the ACC right now or something like that. Like
that's just how bad the ACC is.
But
that's not.
I know, but
they lost.
Like everybody I talked to, I know everybody I talked to, like Carolina fans are like, even they're like, we both need to fire. Just what they tell us.
I'm okay with that.
But whatever. But
they can get an AAU team together.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it'll be when we beat them on Thursday, it'll be fun. So.
Yeah,
Wednesday. But yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which hopefully breaks the year streak. Let's come back to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clemson.
I know it's a year.
Clemson.
And oh my gosh, can we put some like that's my thing. Like I'm okay stepping off the NC State soapbox a little bit to step on the Clemson soapbox. Like, give that team some more respect for God's sakes, please. Like dude, those guys need to be higher.
They should get some, but I mean the ACC is pretty whack.
I thought it was pretty crazy that Brad Brownell was like a guy who almost lost his job, and then he went to the Elite Eight, and then now he's one of the best teams in the ACC this year. I get it because the ACC is down.
Coach.
I know, but that's just crazy to me. It's like Dave Doran kind of thing. It's like, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. So,
yeah.
No, 100%. So, first of all, Macon, I want to say again, man, good to have you back, brother. It was awesome to have you here for sure. So, I mean, any final thoughts from your end, man, regarding anything NC State or ACC?
No, I'm just honestly, I took a little hiatus. So, this is like kind of getting my gears refreshed with all things NC State. And, it's fun thing about baseball coming back because that was really fun last year, too. It's again, a lot to look forward to. So,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be exciting. Go back to Omaha again this year.
So. There it is. I have one baseball stat to just drop real quick.
Go for it.
So on Saturday's game, Jake Bechtel had a pinch hit appearance, crushed a 437-foot shot over center, right center, I believe it was. And that one at bat, he's got more home run percentage than any other team or anybody else on that team. So therefore, he is the best power hitter we have on the team. So I'll just leave that here.
One for one.
Stats don't lie.
Why is he not in the lineup is what I'm going to ask you, Greg.
We'll take that offline.
There we go. I love it. Michael, any final thoughts from you, my man?
No. Just excited for baseball this weekend, Jacksonville.
No. And wrestling and gymnastics, man. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm so focused on
Jacksonville.
yeah, exactly.
No,
it's when you're there at these sports, it's like, oh, there's this is going and that's going, and I don't know why. Like I was even checking my phone on Saturday at baseball for basketball scores, but I did.
And Notre Dame too this weekend for women's basketball. Like, it's gonna be a crazy weekend. It's gonna be a crazy weekend.
Yeah, I actually sold my tickets for probably less than I could have sold them for.
Yeah, holy smokes! Just think about that. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a crazy weekend. But anyway, Wolfpack Nation, we appreciate y'all as always tuning in here. Make sure if you haven't already for YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and then for if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us, leave us a 5-star review. Make sure to give us a follow at Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter and Instagram, y'all. But with that being said, we'll see y'all soon. It's gonna be an amazing week. Excited for what's to come and excited to break it all down this time next week. We'll see y'all soon. As always, go Pack, y'all.